Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, hopefully you guys hung in there without me this morning. Because we got another trap day. And I hope you guys didn't fall for the trap. Because, man, we've been having a lot of them. Okay? But, don't worry. I'm here. I'm here to explain why they're happening and why you guys need to stay in the game and ignore them, because they're being done for a reason, to drive retail out. So let's discuss everything that's going to happen. There's something big. Something that's going to happen tomorrow. Let's discuss that, everything that's happening right now, and a few crypto that are very, very, very oversold right now. All right. Let's do it, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are starting out tonight a little bit lower than this morning, but honestly, it's higher than yesterday. You could see. We're at 97.4, but plus 934. Versus yesterday. So last night I streamed and we were at like 96. So we're actually higher than yesterday. Even though this morning we did go down lower. It was another shakeout day. It was another day to drive out retail. And I could see from the chat, a lot of people became very discouraged today. But if you're looking at, if you're just looking at Bitcoin, we're actually higher than we were yesterday. That's the thing. See, this is why the people that are driving the prices right now, they're really good at what they do. They're really good at getting people to be discouraged and getting people out, right? See, that's the unfortunate thing. And that's why you guys got to see the bigger picture and focus on the future. Short term, there will always be a lot of volatility. There will always be a lot of dips. But long term, man, we are looking great. Absolutely great. So, what's coming tomorrow? Well, tomorrow we got a big jobs report and an unemployment report. That's coming. Absolutely huge. Okay, it's projected that tomorrow the jobs numbers will be lower in December versus November. 169,000 jobs versus 256. And unemployment will stay at 4.1%. Okay, so that's the expectations. So if the number comes in close to that or a little bit below, great, great. That means the market will explode. Even if it comes in a little bit higher than that, market will be okay. The only way it's going to be absolutely horrible is if the number comes in way above, way, 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 way above. Because then Wall Street is afraid of inflation, afraid that Powell's not going to cut rates, and, you know, all that. I explained that before, right? So, but as long as we're like somewhere close, in line with expectation tomorrow, we'll be good. So that's a big thing coming up, and that will be right before I stream. It'll be right out. So, you know, we'll have the results even before market bell, right? So we'll have that, and that'll be huge. Okay, now let me show you a few things, guys. Let me show a few things. This we got to thank Coinbase for. Okay, this may not mean a lot right now, but this goes to show you this is one of the big things that's been happening over the years. Coinbase sued FDIC, which, you know, basically they're insurance for all the banks out there. And some of you guys may have noticed this over the years, that your bank, they don't like you buying crypto. They may have shut down your account. They may have sent you letters. They may have given you phone calls asking you what you're doing with your money, or they're telling you to stop. And that could have been because of the FDIC. Coinbase sued FDIC, and they realized they uncovered all these documents that showed exactly that. They've been pressuring banks to stop working with crypto exchanges or crypto companies altogether, right? That is coming to a stop, especially with the new administration, with the CryptosRUs, with Senator Loomis and everyone else. They're putting a stop to it. But this is one of the examples of why you don't want to fall for the trap. You don't want to get out, because things are changing. Things are changing in a big way. Even the FDIC now, well, this is a big black eye for them, very embarrassing. They're even considering allowing banks to become custodians and considering possibly insuring digital assets, right? So now they're doing complete 180. So this is pretty big. But the fact that Coinbase sued them and revealed this shows, how stacked the cards were against crypto in the US, even as retail investors, right? Not even from projects, but with retail investors. And this has happened, like a lot of people, I see it. This happened, but it had, people, we just kind of accepted it, right? Like, why are banks so anti? It's because, like, we have the FDIC telling them to do so, right? But things are changing. Things are changing in a big way, right? We still, we talk about it a lot, that Bitcoin reserve. Obviously, that's going to change things in a big way. We got that we got that 200,000 to look forward to that will be bought this year and 4 years after that too. So in total, that's a lot of Bitcoin, but that could trigger a huge market cap surge, obviously, right? And it makes a whole lot of sense. Even former PayPal president says that, hey, as a country, we're the #1 holder of gold. But now everyone is starting to understand Bitcoin is a better version of gold. So why would we not rebalance a portion of our gold balance to Bitcoin? It makes a whole lot of sense. We're moving in that direction. And even Trump's own company is going to offer a Bitcoin ETF, making him the first US president linked to an ETF launch. Trump is doing a lot of firsts for a president, especially for crypto, right? So just take a second to think about that. That's coming. We got so many ETFs, and not just for Bitcoin, we know, right? I have several big news also in regards to ETFs in a second, but this is also coming. We got a lot of states. I talked about New Mexico, Arizona, and others that either have approval or getting approval to add Bitcoin to their balance sheet. This is all happening. This is not theoretical. This is happening in front of our eyes. See, this is the reason why you don't want to get scared out of the market. You don't want to get flooded out, because all the change is happening. And the reason why we have so many shakeouts, and I'll get to it really quickly, is because all the big boys, the ones that are accumulating behind the scenes, they want the Bitcoin. They want your Bitcoin for cheap. They want you out, because there's only so much out there. It's really that simple. I mean, I showed you guys this morning, and I still believe in it. I said, hey, we're going to liquidate those shorts. It was either today, tomorrow, this weekend. It's going to happen. This is on Binance. Okay, it's going to happen, but we keep going down and up and down and up. We have these whales right now, or you could say Binance or exchanges, that are playing a lot of games, trying to wipe out the liquidity, trying to wipe out all the longs and shorts. And today was another one of those days. But you know what? With all the longs wiped out, guess what was next? It's the shorts. Actually, this actually proves it. There's another thing that I haven't discovered yet, but this is something new. This measures the number, well, this measures and visualizes the number of shorts versus the number of longs. And the green on the right side shows you how much short leverage there are, and the left side, how much long leverage there are. And obviously you could see from our current position, there are a lot of shorts, a lot more shorts than longs at this point. So guess where the whales or the exchanges are going to push next, right? It's going to happen. So all this, whether on a smaller scale or on a larger scale, is to drive retail out, to drive users out so that others can accumulate. That's really it. It's really that simple. Whenever you can't figure out something, this is from Sherlock Holmes, I guess, a fictional character. But whenever you can't figure something out, just see who gains the most, right? Who benefits the most. So whenever we have shakeouts like this, just think about it. Who benefits the most? It's the people that are buying, right? So it's the same scenario. So short term, we got a lot of people that are getting wiped out. A lot of people that are being driven out. It's because there are a lot of people that want to buy. If you look at the facts, you look at the fundamentals, you look at the narrative for this year, you cannot not be bullish. Things are so good. Here's an example of the fundamentals. Exchange reserves on all exchanges. Look at this. Look at how it's dropping like a rock, right? All the buying that's happening, it's not fictional. You can measure it. Exchange reserves are going down in a big way. It's not theoretical. We have a ton of buying and it will continue. But you know, of course, short term, there's always going to be people that try to shake things up and try to discourage people to try to drive people out. There will always be moments like that. But you got to flip the narrative. That's why I say dips are gifts. You got to take advantage. You don't want to be one of those that sells. You want to be one of those individuals that buys, that takes advantage, because you want to be like those whales. You want to be like those institutions. You want to take that wealth from others. You don't want to give it up, right? That's the way to do it. And if you can embrace that, then you are set. You will be winning at the game of crypto. So that's the best way to do it, my friends. Now, outside of Bitcoin, the alts, right? There are a lot of alts, a lot of good ones. And today we saw the alts get a little bit weaker. They're about the same, but some got a little weaker. A little bit weaker. Last thing I'll show you about this. Bitcoin's return in February. Right now, we're still at minus 5%. But hey, this is the first week of February. It's not over until we're in March. February traditionally is the best month, or one of the best months. October actually is a really good month too. But one of the best months for Bitcoin returns, right? So it's not over until it's over. And we could definitely still be having massive gains for this month. Another reason why you don't want to be shaken out. Stay the course, continue to hodl, DCA if you can. If you can't, just continue to hodl, just don't fall for the FUD. That's it. It's really that simple. Now, as for some of the alts, let's talk about it. SUI is one of them. SUI, risk to reward ratio hits 1 to 5. SUI actually has been a lot weaker recently, right? They did have a unlock recently, right? But they're still in a really good position. According to this article, Binance traders are going long. You got a lot of outflow, which is great. Technical analysis shows that they have hit a certain point and they are ready to move upwards. These are all great things, but you look at other things that's happening. There's a lot of partnerships. Here's one. They're partnering with Liquidity Capital to get involved with RWA. That's a big narrative for this year. That's exactly what Liquidity Capital is going to do. They're going to provide on-chain funds, money market funds, private credit funds, hedge funds on top of SUI chain. Real world use. That's pretty good. Also, they have this bridge that allows wrapped Bitcoin to come on board to boost SUI's DeFi ecosystem. And SUI's TVL, honestly, has been blowing up ever since 2024. So that's also pretty positive. And I saw this from last month. Van Eck did analysis between SUI and Aptos. Now, both of these, in case you're not aware, their founders both came from Facebook, from their ex crypto project. And they did analysis, and they concluded SUI was the better of the two. And they also did a price prediction where they think SUI is going to go, I forgot, really, really high. Really high. So a lot of great things happening in SUI, and their ecosystem is, like I said, going places. But outside of SUI, a couple of others, and this also involves ETF news. XRP ETF. A lot of traction going on. A lot of talk. You have 21 shares, Bitwise, Canary, and Wisdom Tree, all filed their 19B4 forms. Okay, so the SEC will have 240 days from here on out to approve an XRP ETF. Now we know the SEC is a different agency now, not led by Gary Gensler. It is different. They don't see all crypto as securities, and XRP has already ruled a non-security. So there's really no reason why they would say no to this. So I think it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and that when could be sooner than expected. Maybe they're going to hold off until that appeal process is over, but that could be over any time, right? So this, once approved, could have a huge, huge, huge effect on XRP's price. So that's coming up. And you know what else coming up? This, the SEC acknowledges Grayscale's proposed amendment for their SOL ETF. Yes. So this is also pending. The SEC acknowledged it. So this has been like a little confusing, but basically the SEC did not deny it. Usually when the SEC is going to approve something, they basically don't deny it and they acknowledge it. It's kind of a weird thing. So that means there's a really good chance, again, just like the XRP one, Solana ETF is going to get approved. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So we may be getting both a Solana and XRP ETF later this year, and both could be coming up very soon. And I think both of these will do very well. I think there's definitely an appetite with institutions for both of these. That's why there are so many applicants. We're talking about tens of billions going into both. And that could definitely drive things up in a big, big way. And both of these slid down today. And they're fantastic projects, so definitely don't want to miss. And Bitcoin's coming up. Coming up. We're not too far off from this morning. Like when I made my video this morning, we were like 98 something, 98.3, 4, or we're like not that far off from this morning. And we're actually higher than what we were yesterday when I was streaming. So I know this morning or this afternoon, it was a little scary, but honestly, not a whole lot of changed if you measure it from yesterday night or this morning. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right, there was one super chat. Please check ISO certified offline pure wallet, PWT. Never ever heard of it. Pure wallet? There's no pure wallet. There's a Panda Inu and a perpetual wallet. There's no pure wallet here. Sorry, Bay. Don't know what it is. Omar, can China tariff cause a dip like a US tariff? Yes. But I think everyone's predicting that a deal will be made, kind of like what happened with China and Mexico. I mean, Canada and Mexico. So I don't think anyone thinks a real tariff war is going to benefit anyone. So I think there's probably something that's being worked on. Have I sold an altcoin lately? No. Have I been DCAing? Yes. Never wanted Panda in. What indicator are you using when you look at charts? Honestly, if I'm like, playing, longs, right? Like I kind of just look at RSI, the main one. If it's oversold on like the longer time frames, sometimes the 15-minute or the 1 hour, 4 hours, something like that. The shorter time frames, sometimes it's not accurate. That's really it. Your thoughts on Ondo becoming L1? You know what? This funny thing. I covered Ondo yesterday, and I said that today, they're having a big conference, and today they made an announcement of like L1. I'm not so sure they need to be a L1, but good for them. Like, I don't really know why. Pure Wallet is the world's first ISO certified offline blockchain wallet. Please review. All right. I appreciate a super chat, but no. You know, I'm just because you sent me a couple of super chats, I'm not gonna review your wallet. If you want a real review, then go through the proper channels. There are this ISO certified thing, you know, there's a lot of question marks on what it actually means to be ISO certified. A lot of chains also say they're ISO certified, but there's no like anywhere to go to actually say you're ISO certified. You kind of just like certify and say, yeah, we're on that standard. That's why like any chain actually can be ISO certified. And if you go to the ISO 200222 site, there's actually a Q&A section that actually say which crypto projects are ISO certified. And in that Q&A section, it actually says no crypto projects are ISO certified. So it's kind of like self-certification. It's actually really weird. Because I looked it up. If you guys go to the ISO 20022 website, there's actually a Q&A section that says, which cryptocurrencies are ISO 2002 certified? And it actually says none. Vic, are you bullish on base projects? No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not bullish on base projects. So trying to show treble swap is not going to work. The first V4 DEX, what does that even mean? I'm not even bullish on Aerodrome. So I don't even know what a V4 DEX means, Vic. No BS crypto. It's just a standard. Yeah. So like anyone could say they're following the standard, but you know, Ethereum could say that, Solana could say that, Avalanche could say that. So like this whole premise that XRP and Algo and Chainlink, you know, I don't get it, you know. Are they really following the standard? Have they really implemented the standard? I just don't know who actually checks it. What's your best cycle top indicator when you're making too much money? Can Solana still hit 1,000 this year? Yes. Any update on VeChain? No. I'm not sure what kind of update you're looking for, Louis. What kind of update are you looking for? Why am I not bullish on Base ecosystem? I have a very unpopular opinion on Base. A lot of ETH and Base fanboys did not like hearing it. But the only reason why I think Base got popular was because Solana was down for like 3 weeks. That's the only reason why it took off. If it wasn't because Solana was down, it would never have gotten popular. That's my honest opinion. It was during that time memes shifted over to Base and Brett came out and got big. And if it wasn't for that time period, there would be no big memes on Base. Joey says, confused. Why do we want the number of unemployed to be higher than expected? because it would indicate that the economy is worse than expected, which means that it would help the narrative that inflation won't be going up. Because when you have a lot of people that have jobs and a lot of people that have a lot of money, they will buy a lot of stuff. And if they buy a lot of stuff, that drives prices upwards. That's according to Powell. So when you have a lot of people that don't have a lot of money, that means they're not going to be buying things. That means inflation won't be going up. I don't know. So we're kind of like in that bizarro world right now. Carpo, if you need 15,000 to pay a bill and you have one Bitcoin and 15,000 in Sol and Sui, what would you sell to pay the bill? Oh my God, that's a tough one. I agree with some of the comments. I would just keep the Bitcoin. That's me, but you decide what you do with yours. Echoes, no. Dustin, thank you. Zombie, well, if you already did it, you already did it, but you're going to be regretting it. That's my opinion. What is FUD? Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That's what it is. You know, there's a thing called Google. There are certain things you guys don't need to ask me. You could just Google it or use AI or Siri or something. Just FYI. All right, guys. Have a good night. I'm a little tired because I was walking around the whole day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, you guys did not fall for the FUD. You didn't fall for the trap. And let's see what happens with the job numbers tomorrow. Right? We're going to have a glorious day tomorrow or this weekend. Let's see. Let's see what happens. All right, smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. Last question. Do you think Sonic will have his recovery above his all-time high? Yes. Yes, it will. All right, have a good one, guys. Take care.